Back here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as the red flag condition is now 1 hour and 58 minutes officially in progress, as we are still waiting for news on Dan Weldon's situation and the future of this race. That is the garage area back in the area where Dan Weldon's team was doing all their pre-race preparation. And of course, a 15-car crash that brought this race to a standstill after lap number 12. And here come the drivers out of a meeting that has been going on for the better part of the last 25 minutes. And I guess we have been told that none of the drivers will be giving interviews at this particular moment. I guess IndyCar officials will want to make the first statement as to what is going to happen next as everyone comes out of this meeting room. And there is Tony Kanaan, who started on pole today, led the first 12 laps, and was nowhere near the crash when it happened behind him.
At this time, they've also been repairing the track, Marty, repairing the safer barrier, repairing the track that we saw just a little bit earlier on, and also repairing the catch fence.
Michael Andretti, he was in that meeting as well, as he will make it back to his area. And of course, we are waiting for word from IndyCar officials as to Dan's status and the status of this race that is now just shy. In fact, we're approaching 2 hours in this red flag situation.
As we talked about before, guys, this is the hardest moment for the drivers, and if you are told it's time to get back into the car, it is a difficult situation.
I think you get an idea just looking at Tony Kanaan. I mean, this guy is as tough as nails, and you just saw the big exhale that he just gave. This is those moments that you just pray and hope for the best, and we don't know what they know because we have not been given any word from IndyCar officials. Graham Rahal, and he's just starting out his young career. Rahal has several second-place finishes. Of course, he won his very first IndyCar race back at St. Petersburg, and that's the farthest thing from his mind today. And there is your four-time champion, but I guarantee you right now he does not want to celebrate anything. He, like everyone else, most concerned about the well-being of Dan Weldon. And there is his teammate, Scott Dixon. And, of course, Dan drove for Chip Ganassi with Scott Dixon.
With Dixon. So there's a lot of drivers there that have a lot of personal relationships with him that they raced with. And
Dan drove with Dario when they were at Andretti.
And won.
Yes.
And won at Indy.
Very difficult to be involved in this sport and over a period of time like Dan has, and not to have great relationships with a lot of drivers. And, we focused a lot on the off-track situations that a lot of drivers have had this year, guys, especially between Dario and Will, just with situations they get involved on track. It carries off track, but in this situation here, everybody's your friend, and we are praying and hoping the best for Dan Weldon, and all those things about championships and races that you've had in the past are just completely gone now.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, as he makes his way back, he was our winner back at Loudon. You saw that race here on ABC. Of course, that had a controversial finish to it after the restart in the rain eventually ended getting wiped out. And he won that race there. I talked to him yesterday, and he had mentioned the fact this is going to get crazy because we could go 3 and 4 wide, and if there's one minor blip, it could really be serious. And it turned out to be prophetic, as we had a 15-car pileup on lap number 12.
One of the most difficult things, I think, at a race weekend like this is for the partners of the race car drivers, their wives and girlfriends and family, because you're always on pins and needles, and you can tell that everybody right now is waiting with great anxiety.
I think anxiety is the proper word for it, especially for all of us. Obviously, there's Tim Cindric talking to Elio Castroneves and his team as they're going through the next steps that they have been told by IndyCar officials. And there is Tony. And
very distressed.
And Tony just is a great friend of Dan, and they hang out together, has always hung out together, and when they separated from being on the same team, have remained friends over the years, and just a true friendship. There you see Roger Penske, obviously, and Roger is there with his team, and we're conferring with his guys, and all the information that they know from being involved in that meeting so far, Eddie, we're not privy to that, but obviously they're passing along and discussing what they have learned inside that meeting, and we still hope and pray for Dan Weldon. As we mentioned before, in that big accident, he was airlifted out of the racetrack here to the hospital, and overall a lot of drivers involved in that accident, but obviously the worst injuries so far to date seem to be Dan Weldon, Marty.
Yeah, and Weldon, as you can see,
Vassar.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Vassar, team owner, co-owner of KV Racing. At the hospital, Jamie Little has passed along that Dan's sister Holly is there. His brothers Austin, Ashley, and Elliot are there. His wife Susie and their two children, Sebastian and Oliver, are there as well. No further information coming from the hospital yet from Jamie Little. As soon as we do get word either there or here, we'll pass it along. And there is the captain, Roger Penske, talking it over with his team.
You know, and Roger has been involved with the sport so many years, Eddie, as you know, and all through the decades that we had when injuries were very strong, not only injuries but deaths. And I think of Mark Donahue, who drove for him and was killed. It's a difficult situation, but we're all in this as a family because we love the sport.
A very big family, and there is absolutely nothing that can prepare you for moments like this.
All right, we are getting word that there's Randy Bernard.
Our thoughts and prayers are with his family today. IndyCar, its drivers and team owners, has decided to end the race. In honor of Dan Weldon, the drivers have decided to do a 5-lap salute in his honor. It will take place in approximately 10 minutes. Thank you.
There will be no one-on-one interviews or questions. Thank you.
Did he confirm these? All right, we came in late on that, and folks, this is the hardest part of our job, and the last time I had to do this was 2006 with Paul Dana, but we have lost Dan Weldon today here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A tragic accident on lap number 13, and Dan Weldon killed today here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There'll be a 5-lap salute. Stay with us, please.